Almost there. All right.
Almost.
3 o'clock. Here we go.
Awesome. All right, great opening slides. Welcome everyone to the Small Farms Conference, to opening day of the Small Farm Conference. We are so excited to have you all on today. This is the award ceremony for our Small Farm Innovation Challenge. Just to make sure everyone's on the right session, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so as I'm sure you're all aware, the Small Farm Conference and the Small Farm Innovation Challenge is brought to you by Community Alliance with Family Farmers. And we're working together to empower family farms, healthy land, and thriving local food systems. So we're doing that through a whole bunch of programs, the Small Farm Innovation Challenge being one of them. And I'd like to share a bit more about where the Small Farm Innovation Challenge came from before we hear from our winners. All right, so the Small Farm Innovation Challenge is hosted by the Small Farm Technology Hub at CAF. And at the Tech Hub, we're focused on helping the small farm navigate appropriate technology and find the best fit tools for their farm business. There's a lot going on out there, and we want to make sure the small farm doesn't get left behind in ag tech investment and development. So hence, we bring you the Small Farm Innovation Challenge. This is just in its third year. And in all these questions around what is appropriate technology, it really brings us to the purpose of this innovation challenge, which is to make sure that small farmers and farm workers, the people who are working in the fields every day, are at the heart of these conversations. So investors are pouring billions of dollars into ag tech, with $7.8 billion in 2021 alone, based off one of the sources that we looked into. And tools and technology can help farmers improve efficiency, save labor, and connect with their customers. But many of the innovations in agriculture today are being built for large-scale production, out of reach for most family farms, all while contributing to ecological degradation and yet more consolidation in the industry, perpetuating a vicious cycle. So coupled with a get big or get out ideology, it would seem that technology has left small farms behind, all to the detriment of rural economies, social equity, and even the health, sustainability, and quality of our food. But does it have to be this way? So who are we talking about? I just want to make sure we're clear around who is the small scale family farm. And this is how CAF has prioritized who is the small family farm. So these are independent people, farmer cooperatives who derive a meaningful portion of their livelihood from the land and are involved in day-to-day operations. They're implementing ecological, sustainable farming practices, and they're committed to providing for the communities that they live and grow in. And this also has a focus on our historically disadvantaged farming communities. So this brings us back to the purpose of the Innovation Challenge. When meeting these farmers, the purpose of this challenge is to empower farmers to steer the tech innovation space, to highlight that farmers are some of the best problem solvers in the world, to encourage farmers with limited resources and capacity to submit their ideas. We know it takes a lot of work to put together the simple application of the Innovation Challenge. We want to thank everyone who submitted their ideas, that took the time to do that, to get their idea out there. It's a big deal. We want to keep sharing those ideas. We want to spread this knowledge and spark discussion on what is appropriate and right fit small farm technology, to make more resources available to the small farmer, to have public education on what small farmers need to remain viable. So why is this challenge even more important in today's ag tech industry? We have the issues around tech sovereignty for the small farm and landholder. Many innovations in agriculture today are built for large scale production, which we mentioned earlier. There's the consolidation in the industry, there's the get bigger, get out. What data is being collected and who does that data benefit? Who's using it? There's the right to repair and being locally autonomous as well. Just some of our on like tractors and the on-field technology that we're using. So now in its third year, the Innovation Challenge has sought technology innovations from around the world that meet the needs of today's small farmers. And we have 3 innovation categories that have been highlighted. So we have the do-it-yourself category for the open source minded inventor who wants to share their idea with others. And we have our software and our hardware innovator. And our 3 winners of today's challenge will be highlighted soon and representing each one of these categories. And we'd like to first highlight the 14 selection committee members of this year's challenge and really just thank them for their time and dedication that they took to reviewing and grading all of this year's submissions, ranking and deciding on our top winners. So just wanted to highlight all these 14 folks and thank them again for their contributions to the challenge and for making sure this challenge is fulfilling its purpose. So just a brief highlight of, some of the benefits of this challenge. This isn't, it's just its third year. So the winner of our first innovation challenge, which was the farm hand tractor, has made his business into a reality and was actually selected as a cohort member of the Business Accelerator Program, Food System 6. So we also hope that this challenge continues to provide a platform for all the innovators to help get their operation or their idea to the next level. However they envision it getting out to the community, we want this challenge to help give them a platform to meet those goals. So if you haven't seen it already, we have previous year's winners posted on CAF's YouTube channel, on CAFlix. You can see and look at their innovations on that YouTube channel. All right, now I'm going to bring you our video that highlights our 3 winners. After this video, we're going to have a question and answer panel discussion with the 3 winners. So if you have any questions that come up, please post those in the chat or in the, I believe you have a Q&A box. Please just get those in there. We'll have some time at the end to meet our winners and talk with them. So we will get this video up.
Hi, my name is Senna Daniel Ayambo. I'm the Sustainable Food System Resource Specialist or Post-Harvest Specialist for College of Agriculture, Environment and Nutritional Science, Cooperative Extension, Tuskegee University. I'm also a specialist in small farms project development. We see that farmers go through a lot of stress producing only to lose their crop at the point of sale because they are contaminated. They go through all the rigors to produce crops, but because they don't have good washing facility, hand washing facility, they lose the crop. They don't have the money to construct the sewer systems with vanity systems, which are very expensive, and then they go with water recycling sewers. So that makes them not to be able to get hand wash facilities at their place. In other cases, they have their farms, the small farms dotted, so they can have these facilities at the various farms. It is as a result of this that the Tuskegee University came out to construct this simple, basic structure, which we call mobile hands-free wash station, to help the small-scale farmer. It's actually used in other areas, but I will only concentrate on the use for farm or for small farms. Let's get to the structure. There are three sections: the top, the middle, and then the bottom. The top has the main dispensing unit, which is elbow operated. Over here we have the soap dishes, the sanitizer, the paper towel dispenser, which is drench free, so that if it rains, it doesn't get drenched. If you come to the middle stand, we have 2 extra buckets for clean water to use when this one is run out. And then the gray water container holder. If you come beneath, we have extra bucket water, and then again we have extra paper towel, soap washing liquid, and then hand sanitizer, all put in this with a lid so that if it rains, it doesn't drink. Now I'll take you through the procedure of hand washing. You come here, you can either wet your hands first with some water and you use your elbow to open the tap. You wet your hands. Because of time, I wouldn't wash so long, just to demonstrate. You wash your hand very carefully, making sure to do that. And then you open with the elbow or the arm again and rinse very carefully. Collecting it into the gray water bucket. You close it back. You don't touch the faucet and prevent cross-contamination. You come here, we have the paper towel dispenser. You pull on it, and then you rip. You clean your hand with the paper towel. You press, you put it in. You can still get extra paper towel. You rip. And put here. After that, if you have, like we have here, we have the hand sanitizer, you do that to sanitize. This facility is good because it is cheap to construct. It is mobile. You can use it closer to the farmers, wherever, especially during harvesting. You move it closer to where they are working. And then once you have a minimum of 3 to 5 buckets, with this system in place, you can have your mobile wash station. It is good for the farm. It is good for schools. You can put it at a playground for school children to, after playing in the ground, they wash their hands before they go to the classroom. Church premises, communal places, wherever hand washing is needed, you can have this. And the beautiful thing is, you just loosen these 2 woods at the sides. You unscrew them, then you get it in a collapsible form to be transported. And then the paper towel is designed such that we have the paper towel, the heavy duty one, sit in it on a spool or a wooden spool, which can roll so that when it gets finished, you can replace it. And then you snap the lid to it so that it doesn't get drenched with water. So basically, that is what I have for you. Anybody who wants it, or we are ready to train people in the construction, they can contact the Tuskegee University, College of Agriculture, Environmental Science, Alabama, or my number will be left below on the website so that we can get to help people. This is a match for small scale farmers. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Lindsay Lesher-Shute, CEO and co-founder of the Farm Generations Cooperative. We are the makers of Grown By. Local food must be affordable and accessible to everyone. At my farm, we take so much pride in providing food for our neighbors, and there's just nothing worse than when someone says they can't afford what we are producing. Over the years, we've done a lot of things to try to make our products more accessible. Our CSA members have raised money for subsidized shares. We work with a special program where some of our shares are available at food pantries, and we donate a ton of food to local food security organizations. But there are still some families that inevitably get left behind. They don't know the programs that we offer are available, or maybe they just don't feel comfortable asking. That's why many years ago, we became authorized as an EBT authorized seller at our farm. So as an EBT seller, customers would come to the farm and we would swipe their card. But the problem is we don't just sell our food at our farm, we sell it to New York City and the region, but only at the farm could you get these special EBT shares. And also the terminal that we were provided had to be actually physically plugged into our internet. So our EBT customers, while everyone else was buying their products online in advance, our EBT customers would actually have to walk over to our house and physically swipe their card. It was a really poor experience for them. I mean, they were obviously appreciative that we were offering it, but it just wasn't right. We didn't feel good about it, and our customers eventually dwindled, and we sort of let our authorization expire. We weren't the only farm, and we are not the only farm that has felt frustrated about this situation, nor are we the only retailer. Food operations, food stores around the country were very frustrated by the fact that you had to do this in-person swiping for EBT. So there was a lot of pressure that was actually put on the USDA to make it possible to buy something online with supplemental nutrition assistance program dollars with an EBT card. And several years ago, the USDA actually started a program to make this possible. And now big box retailers like Amazon, Target, Walmart, they are selling online with EBT. So an EBT, a family using EBT benefits can buy their weekly groceries online from one of those retailers. The way the program was designed, it makes it really expensive and pretty complicated to become an EBT online seller. Farms like me were not really part of the equation. So the USDA, to their credit, they realized this and just recently said, we are going to put some grant money behind this and make it possible for farms also to sell online. So we applied with our wonderful partners at MarketLink to become one of the first platforms offering online sales for farmers. And in fact, we are very close to becoming the first. So our first innovation is to make it possible for any farm. They go through an application process with USDA to become an online authorized seller, and then they connect to Grown By, show their shop to USDA, and then they can sell their products, their farm products, their CSA shares online to customers who are using Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits. Hooray. So we are so excited about this. It is going to be a huge improvement in customer experience for our local community and our EBT customers. And our hope is that it is just going to streamline and improve the experience of being able to spend EBT benefits on fresh and healthy food across the country and make it possible for more farms to participate, because it's just going to be easier. They're going to feel better about it, and the whole process is going to be more streamlined. But we are not stopping there. Our next innovation on this work is going to be expanding upon this foundation and actually integrating the many benefits programs that are funded to double up those EBT dollars. So you may have heard about these double up food bucks programs where a farm, if somebody is buying $1 of products with EBT, they actually get $2 extra to spend, which is an amazing idea. And in fact, there are millions of dollars that are coming from the USDA specifically for these types of programs being distributed all across the country. While these programs are totally amazing, they're wickedly complex and super complex for a farm to actually manage on the ground. Some of the programs, they only apply to certain kinds of food. The programs have different benefit levels, percentages, additional dollars. They sometimes only apply to certain types of benefits, maybe WIC or EBT, but not both. So what we want to do is apply the power of technology to streamline those programs so we can be welcoming to our EBT consumers to gladly accept their cards online. And when they're spending those benefits online, we will recognize that they can get extra value for certain types of food. So we can get more of those benefits out to families who need them the most and help to expand their spending on fresh and healthy food at home. That's our innovation. This is what we're putting forward. What you can do, we need our farmers to participate, is to raise your hand and say, I want to be an EBT seller, and we will help you get in the door and start selling EBT online. And hopefully we'll be working with you on those benefit programs in the future as well. Thank you.
All right, round of applause for all of you. Sorry we don't have a big audience with all the echoing of the applause sound, but I hope you feel appreciated and congratulated. Again, just congrats on winning this year's Innovation Challenge. We're so excited that yeah, we've had this opportunity to share your idea with the audience that's in attendance today. We'll be posting this on YouTube as well, so more people can watch this later on. So yeah, now we're going to move into our Q&A portion of today. So we'd love for folks attending. I know we have some judges on today, as well as lots of attendees. I think we have lots of supporters of these various innovators as well on. So we'd love to hear from you. If you want to put any of your questions in the chat or in the Q&A box, we can get to those. I have a couple that I've made in advance and that we've received from some of our judges that we can ask you all about. And so this can be a round robin for you all. Whoever wants to go first, feel free to answer, or if you don't have an answer, you can skip as well. But the first question we'd like to ask you all is, what excites you most about your product or innovation as we move into 2023? And what kind of impact do you hope that it will ultimately have on society and our food system society? So who would like to answer that first? And I can put it in the chat as well.
I can hop in since I unmuted first. Hi everybody, I'm Mike. I'm with Farm Generations, so not Lindsay. Lindsay's my partner in crime here at Farm Generations, my co-founder. We wear the same T-shirt at least, so make it easy for everybody. Yeah, I think the thing that excites me most, it kind of goes back to Elizabeth's intro presentation here, where you mentioned that a lot of technology is developed for kind of like the biggest players in an industry. In agriculture, that's certainly where the most investment is put, is for the biggest producers. And I think for what we're working on, in general, software development is really challenging for small farms. Like, we are using mostly like grant funding for research and development to build a software platform, rather than like the standard venture capital funding. But when this online purchasing pilot for online SNAP came out, like during the pandemic, I was getting press releases in my inbox every day when a new state would be added, and the press release would be like, Mississippi is adding online SNAP, and you can use your online SNAP dollars at Amazon or Walmart. And Georgia's adding online SNAP, and you could use your dollars at Amazon or Walmart. And there was no better example of the technology that was really essential for these kinds of transactions to happen was just being provided by the biggest players in a market in the food industry. So I think the thing that we're most excited about is rolling out this online SNAP feature this year. We're going to have small farms that might have, like $10,000 in revenue a year that are able to sell food directly to the people in their communities that need it most, and run food sovereignty programs that they might have started their farms specifically to do. And farms are being so innovative these days with home delivery models and aggregated CSAs and all these different new models that have come out over the last 3 years, especially. And we want to be part of helping them reach those goals too, reach those food justice goals. So yeah, we're really excited to roll this out and work with as many people as possible on it.
Thank you, Mike. And I know we have a few questions specific to Grown By that we'll get to in a minute, but like to have the other panelists, if you'd like to respond to that question.
All right, I'll raise my hand and take a turn. Hi, everyone. I'm Ethan Rubley, CEO and founder of Farm and G. We make the Amiga. This year specifically, I'm really excited about the traction that we're getting with the Amiga and the number of and diversity in the farmers that are and participants in the food system that are starting to adopt the Amiga as a platform. So we have a very exciting challenge, the Farm Robotics Challenge, being that we're a co-sponsor of with the University of California Agricultural and Natural Resources Department. And so there are now like 50 teams across the US from the top agricultural research universities and robotics universities. All of them have an Amiga and are really trying to work with their local food sheds and farmers in their regional areas and come up with appropriate solutions. And so it's neat to see the engaging students, young people that are interested in solving challenges, that we must address, and really thinking about a central theme of that challenge is appropriate technology for the small farm, because we really believe that if we can make affordable, cutting edge technology that's available and appropriate for the smallest farmer, that will have the largest impact long term. And then there's a question from one of the audience members, Zoe. She's another customer. We're about to deliver her a robot, but she's starting a new farm here in Gilroy, and I'm excited to see what she does with the platform on her new farm. But she asked, "What's our 10-year vision?" And really, I'm excited about kind of the adoption of this as an alternative to tractors, to see the Amiga platform grow into a way to make it economically viable for kind of landscape food system, landscape scale food system change. So we have researchers that are looking at this for making it economically viable to implement sustainable practices. And as those practices become economically viable and accessible to anyone with a bit of land and interest in growing food, I'm really excited to see what change and impact that has. So.
Yeah, I'm Senna. I want to answer a question on the impact my develop basic technology will have on the society for food systems. We know farmers go through a lot to produce food for us, only to lose them at the point of sale because they are contaminated with their hands. Now, with this basic solution, I don't think there should be any excuse for farmers not to incorporate hand washing into their farms, especially small scale and limited resource farmers. At least they now have a product that can help them have good quality food so as to meet a good agricultural practice, which is a must for the farmers. So what I want to do is, let's see how we can scale up this so that every farmer, those who can afford the advanced systems with wash systems, can have this basic one so that they all play that role of having good hand washing. We also saw it during the COVID, where we're asked to wash our hands frequently. That should still be part of us. That's why I made sure it's not limited only to the farms. Schools, public places, anywhere that people will gather. We could have this mobile station deployed there so that the people will wash their hands. That's what I'm doing in my community currently. To the students, to farmers market, wherever people gather, they can have this mobile hand wash station. Thank you.
Thank you, Senna, for that answer. Yeah, I know many of the judges who are farmers themselves or had been on lots of farms were really impressed with the simple elbow contraption for your innovation. They've seen maybe foot ones or ones where you manually open it, but the elbow we thought was very special, just made it so simple and easy and safer hygienically. So thank you for submitting your innovation again. All right, Mike, there's a few questions coming down the pipeline that I think you've seen both in the Q&A box and in the chat. So I'm hoping we can address those. And then afterwards, I'd also like to encourage if any of the innovators have questions for one another, please feel free to ask those as well. But Mike, do you mind taking a go at, I think it was like 3 separate questions, but all related?
Yeah, I think I can cover them. So I think it's helpful to share. I'm going to start with the question of what steps do we take to connect with the Grown By platform so farms can begin accepting EBT. So if you're interested in accepting online EBT SNAP, feel free to reach out directly to me and we'll put my email in the chat and I'm sure it'll get emailed out afterwards. But you feel free to reach out to me. There is a whole process set up by USDA and MarketLink. So our partner in this is MarketLink, which is a program of the National Association of Farmers Market Nutrition Programs. I think I got that right, which is a national nonprofit that helps farmers get set up with the EBT portals through like the point of sale portals that farmers markets and direct marketing farmers use to accept EBT. So there is a separate grant program through USDA for that, where you can often get those terminals for free and get the software to use them for free. So what's happening right now and what started last year was USDA put out another grant program that MarketLink is technically the grantee for online SNAP. And we are like the technical partner for that. So part of the process for farms is to actually get certified by USDA to accept online SNAP. Part of that process is being able to accept in-person SNAP and having an FNS number to accept like in-person SNAP EBT transactions. So if you can't already accept EBT like through an in-person terminal or something, that's the first step, is actually going through that. And then there's kind of a certification process. Part of the certification process is getting set up on Grown By, getting your shop set up. So a few different steps, and I'm happy to explain that to people one-on-one. But basically it's complicated because through this USDA grant program, we're getting the first farm started with live transactions like in a matter of days. Basically, a farm in Louisiana that uses Grown By is going to be the first one to actually accept online SNAP. And they, in Louisiana, they're in the middle of their season now, so they're running a CSA, and there's a couple of farms in New England that'll be right after them. But yeah, if you want to get started using Grown By, it's free to get started using Grown By to set up a shop. Our team can help one-on-one, help you understand how your CSA or direct marketing farm can be using Grown By. So all that's free and ready for people to use. I think there was a question about food hubs or co-ops using Grown By. So Grown By is really set up for direct marketing farms to like set up on their own for like independent single businesses to be using. We do have some co-ops that are like farm co-ops that are using it together. And there are some like aggregators that have used Grown By. So like businesses that aren't necessarily farms but are sourcing directly from multiple farms. So it's possible to use Grown By that way. The thing that I'll mention is that for this online SNAP program, that is something that's run by USDA, where you're only really eligible for that if you're a direct marketing farm. So co-ops, you could be eligible if you are an agricultural co-op, shouldn't be any problem with that. But like a food hub that's not run by a farm, like a ag producer would, I don't think, be eligible for this USDA online SNAP program. And same thing with like a co-op that's not actually like a producer co-op. So anyway, those people might be able to use Grown By, but might not be able to be eligible for the online SNAP program. all that said, feel free to reach out to me directly with any of these questions. And like Lindsay said in the video, like this online snap functionality is kind of the first step in us trying to like jump into more like food justice support through the Grown By platform. So if there's something that your organization is trying to work on, we're probably open to working with you, and we're always building onto our platform. So trying to make it as inclusive as possible to more users.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. And of course, anything with public funding and USDA can be a complicated matrix. So I appreciate you guys breaking it down for the farmers on the call who are interested in learning more. And there is another group who works nationally with other CSA farmers called the CSA Innovation Network. And just want to flag them, because if you go to their website, you'll find a ton of resources on how to use SNAP, how to sign up as a vendor. So that may be helpful for you if you're in that first stage of just getting into the system in the first place. So thank you for that, Mike. And if there's other questions too, I'm sure Mike will be open to addressing them with you through email or yeah, other opportunities. All right, there's another question that has come through that's kind of around the importance of, utilizing waste streams, using less fossil fuels on our farms, tractor-free systems. And this is a question for Amiga with Ethan and Nathan. Do you guys even call the Amiga a tractor, or do you have like a new name for this invention? Or can you maybe just talk more about its purpose on the farm?
Yeah, so we sometimes call it a tractor or micro tractor, or like the reason it's called the Amiga is the first crew that was using it kept calling it the friendly machine, like La Máquina Amiga, and so it really fits into the space where either a tractor is way overpowered for the job, or it's just the job is primarily done by walking around and carrying heavy loads. And so, but we like to think of it as a tractor-like vehicle because it provides traction. It's about like a horse, right? So anything you can do with a horse, you can do with the Amiga. But it's approachable and lightweight, and has, it's electric, so we're using e-bike technology. This is low voltage. It's not like just taking your diesel tractor and converting it over to an electric vehicle with a big heavy battery pack. So and then what makes it, I guess, unique or is it's modular, so it's really meant for farmers to create their own tools in terms of it. So it's meant to be approachable at all levels, from people who might be using it out in the field just to help them in their daily tasks. Like the most creative use cases we've seen have come from just field workers trying to solve problems, unfold tarps or roll out drip tape for a whole block at a time, or like putting cushions on it and using it to help with prone weeding, carrying debris from the previous harvest out of the field. And then we're working on making affordable autonomy systems for it. So these are, it's not that expensive now to add a computer to vehicles like this, and give the precision agriculture capability. So we can now drive it with GPS and do whole blocks.
Well, it looks like we maybe lost Ethan.
Whole operations, planting or weeding. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm connected over satellite internet, Starlink. So my internet might come in and out, but anyways, we're really trying to explore, how do you apply the latest technology and make it accessible, and maintainability is important too. So teaching all of we have a lot of documentation on how to integrate with this machine at the lowest level, and trying to make it approachable. it's not that hard to learn how to program or how to fix these machines compared to diesel and hydraulics.
Great, thank you for that answer. Yeah, and I wish we did have more time here to talk with you all about your innovations, but this does go. We're at the time of 3:45. So I want to congratulate everyone again and thank you for being a part of our awards ceremony, to congratulate all of our winners. Just a quick note on what's to come here for this next year. So we are planning to have an in-person Small Farm Tech Expo to be hosted in Fresno, California, to showcase amazing small farm innovators such as yourself and the other innovators who are interested in highlighting their product or their technology to the small farm community. So be on the lookout for that, and that will be held in tandem with their Small Farm Innovation Challenge. And we're always seeking judges and innovators and other partners, whether it's educational partner like the robotic challenge that that Ethan just mentioned from being hosted at UC Davis, investors, any other student groups or innovators yourself who would like to get more involved in next year's challenge. We'd love to hear from you. And I'm going to put a link here in the chat so that folks can see if you're interested in reaching out sooner rather than later. You can go ahead and complete that link. So yes, just want to thank everyone again for being a part of this year's award ceremony and for congratulating our awardees. So congratulations again, everyone. Amazing innovations. Thank you for all the work. And yes, we'll be in touch. I'm sure this won't be the first time we'll be talking about small farm innovation. So yeah, wishing everyone an amazing rest of the conference, amazing rest of your day, and thank you everyone for attending. This locks it up.
Thank you also.
Thank you.